I built the #1 wholesale operation in the country because of one thing, and one thing only. I have always been the best comper ever. I can comp a house faster than anybody, I can comp a house better than anybody, and I can tell you what I can pay for a property faster than anybody in the business, guaranteed. And do you know how I can do that? Do you know how I can do that? Because I spend $0 on a free app, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I do that in this video. Let's go! Let's establish some ground rules to start, all right? Your realtor friend that also cuts hair on the side that taught you how to comp, all of the rules she told you about comping, lies. Your realtor friend that tells you that a house is worth this much money when you send it to other wholesalers and they're like, where did you get those value from? That realtor's comping, lies. That course that you paid $400 for that told you that you could go a mile out of a subdivision to find a comp, lies. All that stuff are lies, guys. The reason why is your buyers are going to want you to run your comps the same way an appraiser runs their comps. Why? Because their value is going to be dictated by that dude. All right? The appraiser is the person who's going to say what that house is worth. Not the agent, not their broker, not the dum-dum with the $400 course. This guy, the appraisal. And these are the appraisal rules. So let's go over them real quick. First off, guys, you cannot comp a house with another house that is more or less than 200 square feet from the subject, okay? And what I mean by that is, if your house is 1,200 square feet, you can only use comps that are 1,000 or 1,400, in that range, okay? So from 1,000 to 1,400 square feet, you can use the comps. Outside of that, it doesn't equate. You cannot extrapolate dollar per square foot beyond plus or minus 200 square feet. Second, it has to be within 5 years of construction. If you have a house built in 1985 and a comp from 1990, guess what? It's not a comp. If you have a house built in 1985 and a comp in 1990, it's a comp. You see what I mean? Plus or minus 5 years of construction. Same property type. If you have a single-story house and your comp is a 2-story house, it is not a comp. You can only comp the same with the same, like and like. Single stories to single stories, 2 stories to 2 stories. You cannot intermix the property types. The lot size has to be within 2,500 square feet. I can't stress this enough. I've had people send me houses, comps, that they say are comps, where the subject property is on a 5,000 square foot lot and the comp is on a 43,000 square foot lot. Same square footage, same year built, same model house. Not the same lot, not a comp, all right? So the lot size has to be within 2,500 square feet. You cannot cross major roads. So if you find yourself crossing a major road on your map to get your comp, guess what, guys? Not a comp. Do not cross major roads. Guys, this gets really easy when you can concentrate your comps to within a small concentric circle from your subject property. It allows you to exclude a lot of garbage. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, don't cross major roads. Do not leave the subdivision. I can't stress this enough. If you have a house built in 1985, that's a single story, that's 1,000 square feet in subdivision A, and a house built in 1985, that's 1,000 square feet in subdivision B, it is not a comp. If you have a comp in that same subdivision, appraisers will never leave a subdivision to reach for the value. Remember, the appraisers are there to protect lenders, not you, not to get your value. They're there to make sure that lenders aren't overinflating values of properties, and that's why they are not going to do the gymnastics you want them to do to come up with the value. So, don't leave the subdivision. Now, guys, that was all pretty straightforward. We're going to start getting into a few little trickier intricacies. When you have traffic, okay, and what I mean by traffic, I mean busy roads, okay, we're talking major roads, traffic noise, pets dead, that kind of traffic, okay? If you are backing or siding traffic, you have to subtract $10,000 for backing or siding traffic for homes under 250K. If you are fronting traffic for homes under 250K, you subtract 15K from your ARV for fronting traffic for homes under 250K. Remember guys, this 250K mark is a big deal because for homes over 250K, meaning that these are higher income bracket people, they are less likely to want to live in homes that have traffic. In fact, they will pay way more money for a house that is not siding, backing, or fronting a major road. Why? Because they have the money to be able to not have to worry about their kids running into the street, their cat getting run over, and that type of situation. So for homes under 250K, these are the adjustments to make. Now, when you are over 500K, the traffic situation changes drastically from the $10,000 and $15,000 subtractions that I just discussed. When you're over 500K, you are going to subtract 20% of the value. So if you have a house right here on an interior street and the exact same house on a major road, and this house sold for 500K, this house ARV is not 500K fronting a major road. This house is 500K minus 20%. All right? That's a $100,000 hit, which means ARV on this house is 400. I know this can get confusing, guys, and it's a lot to ingest, but if you can bring into your subconscious mind these rules, it will make your capacity to be able to buy, comp, and purchase much easier. So these are rules that I would say you repeat to yourself when you wake up in the morning, repeat them to yourself again when you go to bed, print these out, write them out, put them on your screensaver, plaster them all over your office. Make sure that you're paying attention to this. This will make you the best buyer in the business, all right? Now, parking, again, another intricate detail because parking changes depending on property value. For houses under 250K, you add $10,000 for a garage or you subtract $10,000 for a lack of garage, all right? For houses under 250K, again, you add 5K for a carport or you subtract 5K for a carport. However, for homes over $500,000, that doesn't apply, all right? For homes over $500,000, you have to add parking. No one that's gonna spend $500,000 on a house is gonna have a house without a garage or a carport. End of story. So you are going to have to incorporate what that'll cost if it's even available to add to a property. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you're adjusting for a lack or addition of parking. Now guys, these rules aren't crazy. They're not a lot, but they're real. And if you can have these rules be a part of the way that you do business, you won't go wrong. And last but not least, the pool. Guys, you add or subtract 10K for a pool. That's it. It's not that crazy, but let's put this into action. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly how I'm comping from my phone, from the free Zillow app. So if you haven't downloaded the Zillow app, pause, download it, come back, let's go. So I was sent this property from a friend of mine who I do business with. We'll just call him Jake. That's what his name is in my phone. He sends me this property in Gilbert, Arizona. He wants to know what Keegley would be able to sell this property for. And what he's done is he sent me an address, all right? He's also sent me some pictures. It's dated. Look, the seller and even the wholesaler said that the house was remodeled in 2010. You know what, guys? Let's look at these pictures here real quick. I don't really see a 2010 remodel. I see very dated. They got the San Cecilia granite in there. It looks like, somebody vomited on a mountain and then they cut it out and put it on the counter. It's terrible. But yeah, this is exactly a great type of property because I would say this is a full cosmetic renovation. You might be able to keep those appliances if, the people weren't gross. But let's assume that they were and they're going to have to be replaced as well. So a dated property. Nice though, nice big lot. It's got a pool. He's there right now with the seller and he wants to know exactly what Keegley thinks he should buy this property for So I'm gonna let him know what I think ARV is and what he should buy the property for in order for us to sell it at, all right? So I'm just going to copy this address and I'm gonna move over to my trusty free Zillow app, which is located on my front screen because I use it so much. So now I'm just gonna copy and paste that address into the address bar here. There it goes, you see it populated, it found it, awesome. Now, off the hop, guys, these are the things that I'm paying attention to just on this front screen. So I know I've got the correct address. I'm going to look at the Zestimate, not for anything other than a benchmark, all right? This is telling me Zillow thinks this property is worth $517,000. The reason why it thinks that is there must have been some sale for a property very similar in square footage to this that sold around 517, and therefore Zillow is pulling that data from tax records and it's thinking that this house is worth 517K, and that could be ARV, right? So but it might not be. So I'm gonna have that as a benchmark. I know my square footage is 3340. I've got a 4-bed, 3-bather. Let's see. Now, here's a trick no one knows about Zillow. I use my finger and I scroll down. That's it. Now I'm on the map. What I want to make sure is right over here, I've got for sale toggled, I've got recently sold toggled, so that those are on, okay? And what that means is it's going to show me all the properties that are for sale are in red, and sold are in orange, or in yellow. See, super easy for me to understand. Now guys, look, I love this property. Why? Because it's very close to a major road, but not quite sighting it. So I feel like we have to take a few dollars off for it unless I can find something very similar. But I'm gonna start looking for numbers close to what the Zestimate was, right? So the Zestimate was 517. I just so happened to see a house that looks to be on the same line in terms of its distance from the major road at 510. So let's see what that property is. All right, so I've got a house. It's a 5-bed, 4-bath. Again, my subject over here is a 4-bed, 3-bath. My subject, and that's actually not, that's my subject here. Wait, 43. There's my subject. 4-bed, 3-bath, 3340. All right, 4-bed, 3-bath. So we're within a few hundred square feet, but it's more than 200. All right, so already I'm just gonna take a look and see what this is about though. What kind of property type do we have here? We got single family, built in 2004, lot size 10,349. We're gonna go back to my subject. 2002 built, that works. Lot size works. Single family, that all works. Let's see if we're dealing with the same property type. And it looks as though we are. It looks as though both of these are single story houses. I'm gonna go over here again, single story again. Guys, this comp looks really close, other than the fact that it's 100 square feet more than my comfort level with appraisal rules. I think that one is one I want to keep in mind. All right, I'm not going to rely on it, but I want to keep it in mind. So then I'm going to look over here. I see an active. Now actives are important. That's a 2-story, automatic disqualification. I'm going to look over here at this 518. So we've got a 5-bed. This looks to be a 2-story. I think that's a disqualifier again. Let's go over here. Most of these look like 2 stories. I need to find a single-story house. I need to make sure that I'm dealing with a single story here. So let's see if I can find that information from this. Usually we get a lot of details from Zillow, and usually we're seeing more pictures but we're not seeing the front elevation, which is bothering me. So, and I'm not positive if this is an actual single or two-story. So let's now see if I can paste it in here, and we'll look at the street view. Let's see what Remax has here for an elevation shot. All right, so that's the back of the house. Let's go to the front. Hey, all right, we got it. Single story house. So all of these two-story comps are completely not usable for me. So that's great. That's great to know. So let's go down here to this. That's another two-story. So my thoughts are Zillow isn't very accurate on their estimate here, because I've got a 464 single story sold at in the same area. Here we go. Here we go, baby. That's the comp. Right there. Right there. 485. All right. We've got within the same square footage. It's very close. Do we have a pool? We have a pool. You see that right there? We have a pool. We have a pool. It's got an extra bath. It's got an extra bed than ours. Okay, our subject had 4 beds, so it had an extra bed. So it was even worth more. So my gut tells me, and let's just look at the condition of this house, because that's going to be important. It looks to be in somewhat similar condition, although this one appears a little cleaner because it's staged and ready to go. But you know, very similar. So I'm saying that this house is probably worth $475 on the high. And so over here in Phoenix, we can actually move this deal if he can get it at 75% of ARV, because it's a stucco tile built after 2000. We can actually sell those if we can sell them for $10K over 75% of ARV. So I'm just going to go 75%. So I'm going to tell him he needs to buy this property at $355, and I think that we'll be able to sell it between $365 and $370. So let's just live respond. Buy price $355, sells at $365 to $375. That's it. All right, that's it. So again, you know, that took a little bit longer, but I had a few things I had to overcome. The pictures that he gave me didn't include an elevation shot, so I didn't know if I had a single story or a 2-story, so I had to do some extra work there. But that was it, guys. Not that difficult. My high comp I found in the same area, a few streets down, basically the same distance from the major road. So I feel super confident that my property is worth $475, and if we bought it at $365 or below, we'd be crushing it. All right, guys, so this deal on Phelps was a little trickier for a couple of reasons, right? We weren't given an elevation shot from the individual sending me the deal, so I didn't know if we had a single story or a two-story. I had to go to Google Maps, Google Street View in order to determine if it was a single story or a two-story property. But I want to do something a little bit easier. I just want to look at another house. I was given an address, 3422 East Altadena. There we go. Awesome. All right. This is a property in Northeast Phoenix. My JV partner is actually at the property right now, and he wants to know if he is safe purchasing this property at $215K. Does he believe that, if he's asking if I believe we can sell it for more than $215K, and if this would be a good deal for him to lock up at $215. So right off the hop, guys, I'm looking at the Zestimate. The Zestimate shows me 307. That's a great sign. It's not telling me how many beds we've got, but we see 2 baths and 13 square feet. I'm gonna make the assumption it's a 3-bed because there's no 2-bed, 2-bath house that could be 13 square feet. So I'm gonna assume it's a 3-bed, 2-bath. Looking at year of construction, 1971, an 8,000-ish square foot lot. We got a carport, looks like a 2-car carport. Let's just determine that again. Yep, 2 cars. Great landscaping, nice curb appeal. Yeah, 2-car carport. This is look at that beautiful cactus right in the middle of the landscaping there. This is great. All right, so I've got an idea of what we're looking at here. Let's see what the map tells us. So I scroll that down. I open this up. Zestimate was 307. Let's see what this 330 is. All right, so this 330, a 3-bed, 2-bath, very similar elevation to ours. What I mean by elevation is like the front of the house looks very similar. Doesn't have that gorgeous cactus, but it does. They did enclose that carport and turn that carport into the garage. So I'm going to make an adjustment for that. It's also about 100 square feet bigger, so I've got to adjust for that. So I would say a garage to a carport, you probably got about a $5,000 discrepancy there. So I'm going to take $5K off the 330 for that. I'm going to take another $10K off of the 330 price because we're about 100 square feet larger on the comp. Mind you, this was a 2019, so it's older. Prices have gone up, but I'm starting to get a picture of around a 320 ARV. So that's my first bet. Let's look over here at this 380. Way too big, 1970 square feet, not a comp. Let's look at this 355. So this one also could work. It is a 1-bedroom larger, so I'm going to adjust down $5K from the appraisal rules for that. So that's going to take me down to 350, and then we've got 200 extra square feet. So I'm going to take another $20K off for that. So we got about a 330 now, right? So, but 2019, so that still tells me it's a little old, and prices had gone up since then. So 325, 320, 330 even is starting to look pretty real. Let's look at this 365. Oh my gosh, that's the winner. All right, this is done in sold in January of 2020, so it's a newer comp. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. I don't have to adjust for that at all. Let's look at this garage because I see oh, there we go. We've got a pool too, so we got to check that. I've got a single car garage, okay, and I've got a 2-car carport. I'm going to call that a wash because a 2-car carport, I believe, is as desirable and worth the same as a 1-car garage. So I'm not going to adjust down for that, but I do have to adjust down for the extra 100 square feet here. So I'm going to take 10K off for that. So that's going to take me to 355. Our property, just to confirm if it has a pool or not, does not have a pool. So I'm going to go back here. I took off 10K for the size. So I'm down to 355. I'm going to take off another 10K for the pool. So I'm down to 345. And you know what? I think that's going to cut it. So let's just double check the lot size. Same size lot, very close. very close in year of construction. Let's look at what the interior of this looks like. It's got nice flooring. It looks like an updated kitchen. I see some quartz in there, a really nice grill and a hood fan. So an appraiser is going to call this a remodeled house, right? Not my taste, but it is a remodeled house. There's a backsplash there. Awesome, guys. This is definitely the comp. So that's going to tell me that ARV on this property is going to be around $350K. And so if he's going to be able to get this for $215, that's a deal. So I'm gonna direct our partner to lock this house up. I think we can swing for the fences on this one. And that's it, guys. That was super fast. I did this all from the free Zillow app in the App Store. All right. There's no fancy subscription here. I'm not spending any money on this. And I can do this from my car. I can do this anywhere in the city. I can do this in the mountains. I can do this anywhere I've got an internet connection. It's awesome. So make sure you download the app, guys. Zillow, you're going to scroll down to that map function. Remember the appraisal rules, and let's get at it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're getting any value from the videos that I share, please make sure that you subscribe, because that way you're not going to miss anything. If you don't know who I am and you want to know a little bit about who Jamil Damji is, watch my intro video. It'll give you a glimpse into my business and how I have actually been able to scale one of the most lucrative and best wholesale companies in the entire country. And if you want to see how I drive for buyers, watch the video that's coming up next. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.